Hi, Paul Oakley, Sales and Marketing Director, Firebrand Promotions, and welcome back. For those that are joining us for the first time, this is a video and a short series of films focusing on sustainability within our supply chain. Previous videos can be found at firebrandpromotions.co.uk, and today we welcome Paul. Hi Paul, we've recently signed up to the United Nations Global Compact, and it's a really important part of what we're looking to do as a business moving forward, which is to address how we operate with our supply chain and look at the important areas of things like labour standards and compliance and what have you. A key part of the United Nations Global Compact are their SDGs, their Sustainable Development Goals. How do they influence what you do as a business?
We just updated our environmental social governance roadmap in 2022, and the SDGs formed the core of that roadmap.
Okay.
Particularly SDG 12 and 13, but also supported by 8, 9 and 15. So with regard to 12, which is responsible consumption and production, we worked with the SDGs to decide which materials to use, which products to use, but also to be able to inform our customers of what we're doing, what products we're making, giving them a full picture of the CO2 footprint, and also just giving more choices where you can make that responsible choice.
Yeah, useful. Is that the life cycle analysis then that you're referring to?
Yes, we have a life cycle analysis, which is a score for every single product based on industry standards, and it looks at the material, of course, the production, and then it also looks at the end of life and transport. So we look at those criteria to come up with a score for each product.
What that's given us the opportunity to do is deliver against our customers' requirements from a sustainability perspective, and that's to say, here's a range of products that we can ring fence. We know what the CO2 weight for each item is from the work that you've done, and we can say to our customers, if you buy through this collection, we're offsetting its carbon footprint to gold standard projects around the world, which is a really powerful statement. And it's been really well received by our customers, and that wouldn't have been possible if it wasn't for the collaboration with your business and the work that you've undertaken, so thank you for that.
Okay, good. Yeah, no problem. And actually, with the clothing, which we have a couple of examples on the table there, we've taken it a step further, because with the CO2 footprint, we had to work with industry averages for production, etc.
Okay.
But actually, with the clothing, we've been able to work with Made to Flow, which specialise in looking at the clothing industry. And we're able to actually give live data rather than averages for the clothing. So the plan is to expand that out to the rest of the range.
Yeah.
But starting with the clothing, it's a big process, as you probably know.
Yeah, I'm sure. Is this the Iconique collection that you're referring to?
That's right, yeah.
Yeah, we were with a customer yesterday afternoon and they absolutely loved it. It uses blockchain technology, doesn't it? Is that right?
It does use blockchain technology.
For a layman like myself, what exactly is blockchain technology?
Well, blockchain technology is a database for the industry to store the information about, in our case, the product that can't be interfered with. It's on a portal. You have to have the right access codes to get to it. So it's a way of storing the information about the product for us in a safe way.
Okay, interesting. Jumping around a bit, but another important part of our journey has been the accreditation, if that's the right word, with EcoVadis to a gold standard. I understand your business is platinum, is that correct?
We are platinum, yes.
Wow, yeah. It's a phenomenal achievement. What was that process like, and what does it mean to us as your customer and ultimately the end customer?
Yeah, I mean, it's quite an involved process, as you probably already know.
Yeah.
It was, to be honest, done at head office, so I wasn't so involved myself. However, they still asked us for information, not just obviously relating to products, but relating to energy use with the offices, with the whole process of the whole company. And yeah, it took a long time to get all that data together, but we've managed to do it. It's also working with, of course, suppliers and making sure that they're following certain criteria as well. So we've done a lot of work in the background, and that processing that into also audits with the factories that we use, so that we know exactly how they're operating, and that they have to give us feedback so that we can input that into our data.
Yeah, excellent, really useful. In other meetings on this theme that we've had, the general feedback has been that less is more now from a sustainability perspective. You know, customers are being far more discerning about what they're looking to buy and why.
Yeah.
I think it's really interesting that your business has seen such a growth curve during that period.
Yeah.
What do you put that down to?
A couple of things, to be honest with you. We obviously, we've been moving further and further down we're saying lower impact, in fact, rather than sustainable products or sustainability.
Yeah.
Products with a lower impact. But I think probably you've experienced the same, but pretty much every inquiry now, somebody is asking for products with lower impact, or they say sustainable, or they say eco.
Yeah.
We try to kind of move them towards lower impact.
Okay.
We feel that it's been a massive move towards that, but we also felt that during the whole COVID situation, people started looking to products with more value rather than a cheap giveaway that might end up in landfill before too long. So there was a move towards better value, better functionality, let's say, as well, not just a simple item that can get thrown away quickly, but more function, more value, and of course, as we said, more sustainability, or the lower impact products that we're discussing.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a useful time to mention it now. We're being very careful around the whole greenwashing piece as well, and lower impact is a really nice way of summarising what your goals are as a business, and we share in those goals. For us, you know, we're talking about sustainable attributes, lower impact, those sorts of things, and we're finding that's it's providing clarity, and it's advising our customers of what we're doing as a business and the journey that we're on.
Yeah.
You know, and we're very clear as well when we're talking about our business and our EcoVadis rating, for example. That's the Firebrand part of the operation. It's not our supply chain at this stage, and we need to be very clear on those points.
Yeah. Yeah.
In closing, the subject of sustainability is only going to increase in terms of its importance. And I'm really interested to understand from you, I suppose, what that means from our customers' perspective. So in general, what does the world look like from a sustainability perspective moving forward?
Well, yeah, I guess what I could say is that for a while now, people have been trying to put forward, let's say, eco items again, sustainable items. But whereas perhaps in the past people just accepted that it was a sustainable item, or eco item, green item, whatever phrase is being used, without really asking too many questions, more questions are being asked now, and actually being able to prove something. So we've taken a step probably 12 months ago now to work with an external company called Aware that actually put in a tracer material into the recycled product, so that we can prove, and you mentioned blockchain technology, it links back to blockchain.
Right.
So the way it works, if you want me to try and sort of explain in simple terms.
Briefly,
because
for the layman again.
Because when we were first told about it, I was thinking, I'm not sure I'm going to be able to explain this on again. But in a simple way, if we relate to recycled plastics that we might put in our bags or other items, techie items. So there's a factory that will recycle or shred all the plastic bottles, and they've obviously certified a factory that do that. So let's use round figures. I don't want anyone to take these as read. They're just using round figures, mean nothing. But let's say 20,000 plastic bottles get recycled, get shredded. Once that happens, our company Aware that we use, external company as I say, will go in and they put microscopic tracer material within the shredded material. Then what will happen is that shredded material then goes off to a factory that turns it into yarn. So let's say we had 20,000 bottles, as I say, then we make 100 kilos of yarn out of that shredded material. So once that yarn's been made, Aware, the independent company, will go into the second factory and they scan the yarn to detect that tracer material. Only if they detect it, then they'll produce a document to say, we've found our tracer material in this 100 kilos of yarn that came from that 100,000 plastic bottles or 20,000 plastic bottles, whichever we're saying, back at the original starting point. So we've then got the starting document to trace that back. Then actually it can go on to another 2 or 3 factories, but keeping it simple, it goes off to another factory where they make the bags.
Yeah.
So they make 1,000 bags from this 100 kilos of yarn. A wear will go in again, third factory, and scan the bags to detect the material, and then produce another document if they find the tracer material to say that those 1,000 bags have come from that 100 kilos of yarn, which came from those 20,000 plastic bottles. So we have traceability and can prove that the recycled materials are the recycled materials.
This is what the end customer is wanting more of today. Transparency, compliance, traceability. And ultimately peace of mind, which comes from these sorts of initiatives.
That's what we're trying to say about the future, is there's going to be more and more people asking for the backup to the story.
Yeah,
we have a great story with the clothing, we have a great story with the recycled plastic, etc. But you've got to be able to back it up with a story and the proof that it is what you're saying it is.
Yeah, it's really good to understand more about this in detail, and I'm sure our audience would concur with that. This is why, as well, our business, I think, circa 5-fold growth with you as an organisation in the last 12 months, because we're now looking at who we're working with and rationalising that ourselves to make sure we're working with the right sort of supply chain partners that have got robust measures in place, because that's what our end customers are looking for. It will be a few months' time from now, but we're looking to run an additional series to the ones that we're recording currently, and I'd love to have you back in if that's okay, Paul, so we can see where the sector's at that time.
Of course, I'd be happy to come back.
Lovely, really enjoyed chatting with you today. Thanks, Paul.
And you, Paul, thank you.
Cheers.